Hello everybody, welcome back. This is a video for the Chapter 10 assignment, CIS 116, and this is Professor Coates going to walk you through this Chapter 10 assignment. And obviously not going to do the whole thing, but I will get you enough to where you can knock this thing out. Or if you're resubmitting, some suggestions of some of the things I've seen that you would need to fix. So we have a candle class, and the candle, if you read through these requirements, has three attributes: a height, color, and a price. So the easiest way to set this up, if you don't really care about validation, in this particular assignment, I didn't really mandate that you needed to worry about it. So the easiest way to do it then is to make accessor attributes for the things you need. So we have height, and we have color. Now, I didn't add price to that list because I don't want the users to be able to set the price. You can set the color and you can set the height, but the price is a calculated attribute. It's not something you directly set. You can get it, you can ask for it, but you shouldn't be able to set it. So what we can do in Ruby is we can make a specific type of attribute called a reader, and I can set the price for that to be a reader attribute. So then how this works is you can make a method called getPrice, and in that method you can simply return the price, which is, in the case of a candle, 2 times the height. But as you're looking at this, you think, well, you know, we have a get price, and it takes the height, multiplies it by 2. So really, we don't even need the reader attribute. If we have a get price, we can just call that when we need to know what it is. So I'll simplify it even further by getting rid of the reader attribute, and now we have a get price. There will be no set price because it's not something you can set. You can just ask for it and it calculates it for you. So then the other thing we need is the initialize method, in which case we want to pass in the height and color as inputs. And then what we'll do here is we'll set those. So @color is the field inside of the object, and color without the @ sign is a local variable that's being passed into initialize. So this variable will be set, and it will be handed off to the @height. Same thing with the color. Now, another method, which we'll call display, can then print out the attributes of the candle. So we have our color, with the 2s, and then we're going to need the height and the price. And so we'll have those as well, height. And the price, instead of @price, I'm going to call getPrice, and whatever it returns, we will just cast as a string. Now, because I'm using this inline notation, actually I don't need the 2s at all, for that matter, because it will automatically convert it because I'm inside of a string. So I could just do that, and let's just see if this will work. So I'm going to go in and create candle1 equals candle.new, and I'll try blue candle, and the height has to come first. So we'll do 6-inch blue candle, and then I can say candle1 dot display, and let's see what we get. Try running this. So we get color of blue, height of 6, price of 12, because it's 6 times 2 for the price. Now, notice I'm using the @ signs for color and height. When you create an attribute up like we have up at the top here. Use colon when you define it, but then you use the @ sign when you reference it. So just keep that in mind. Now when it comes time for inheritance, so you're making a scented candle, it inherits its characteristics from candle. So what that basically means is that as a scented candle automatically will have a color, height, and price. So you don't have to worry about any of that because scented candle is the child class and candle is the parent class. The child inherits everything from its parent. So all we really need to do here is add an additional attribute called scent, because it's a scented candle. And the initialize method, I cannot spell that at all today, I-N-I-T, initialize, okay. We're going to pass in. So now, if I go up to my parent, he needed the height and the color. So we still need that for the child, but then we also want to add the scent in as an additional item. Now what we can do here is call super and pass the color, actually I think it's the other way around, pass the height and the color to the parent. So what super does is it calls the parent's initialize method and passes the height and the color up into that method, and they get set. Then what we do is we handle the scent, since we are the scented candle at this point in the initialize. So the initialize method takes everything the parent takes plus additional stuff for the child, calls the parent's constructor, passes what it needs to the parent, and then it takes whatever's left and assigns it into the child. Now in this particular case for getting the price, we already had this method up in the parent and it was 2 times height. So all we need to do in the child is multiply 3 times height instead of 2. And then finally, when you look at the display candle method, what you can do is you can call the parent's display method. Actually, I should call this display. So you call the parent's display method, which is going to put out the color, height, and price. And then you throw the scent on the end of it. Now I could have just coded up all of this stuff here, copied it, and pasted it down here. But when I do that, I'm duplicating code. And that's always dangerous because if you duplicate code and it comes time down the road where you need to make a change, you have to make sure you change it in all the places you duplicated it. Not the best scenario because if you forget one, you've got a bug. So whenever possible, it's always good to let the child delegate things off to the parent. So in this particular case, the parent knows how to display itself. It doesn't have a scent, but it knows how to display all the other stuff. So I let it do it. And then I print out the scent at the end. So to test it, I have a scented candle, and we need a height. Let's go 8. The color red, and I don't know, cherry, something like that. And then I can say candle 2 dot display, and when I run it, I get the first candle, which was blue with a height of 6, price of 12, and then the second candle, the scented candle, prints out the color, the height, the price, which is 3 times the height, which was 8, so 8 times 3 is 24, and then the scent is displayed as well. Wouldn't hurt to put S here just to separate it out, so when I run it, you can see the whole thing now. And this is what you should see given the data that I put in. So that's, in a nutshell, how inheritance works. And inheritance is one of those things in object-oriented programming that is very helpful because it helps you to avoid having to rewrite a lot of code. When you specialize, when you have something basic and you want to specialize or add something or change something so that it's a more specific version of something more general, then that's when we use inheritance. So I hope you found this helpful, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.